Hello, my name is Elisa Howansky, and I'm going to be talking to you about emus, which is the species that I chose for the bird specimens lab that Dr. Langlois sent to us via mail. They are the genus Dromaeus, which there is only one living species in this genus. There are three subspecies that are extinct, but we'll get to those later. They're closely related to cassowaries. They're very large and flightless birds. Um, the shown over here on the right is a juvenile. They have these stripes for better camouflage. Once they get larger, however, it's kind of hard to miss them, so they take on this like shaggy appearance. Since they don't need to fly, they obviously are quite weighty and heavy, and their feathers are not really suitable for flight, so they're very ragged and not very streamlined. Um, they eat seeds, grass, and insects, so just overall foraging. But they do also eat rocks in order to aid in their digestion. Their range, they're year-round in the very east and very westmost of Australia and move further inland during the non-breeding seasons. Um, we'll explain a little bit more of that later.
All right, now we're going to do some skull anatomy for our emu. So first we're going to start off with size. So as you can see, our emu skull measures about 5.5 inches long, which is quite big. For comparison, I have Dave here. He will show up just a little bit just for this. He is about I'd say like 2 3/4 from my angle. It doesn't really look like it from yours. Um, so quite a bit smaller, like about half the size. Um, just using Dave as a comparison here, our emu has laterally placed eyes, whereas Dave has these kind of front-facing eyes for good binocular vision, whereas our dear friend over here, I guess I'll call him Rodney. Rodney here has laterally placed eyes, so not binocular vision, but still has very large oculars. And the sclerotic ring is still intact for him. He has a very long, narrow beak. That's used for eating like seeds and grasses and roots, as well as foraging for insects. The nasal like aperture is quite big actually, as well as the nasal openings being closer to the tip of the beak. So that apparently that is suggestive of a more terrestrial or ground dwelling bird. Um, so and lastly, I kind of wanted to go over first the like cranial area. So very long, very narrow, most likely aerodynamic for like running, as well as the generally small like brain case. There's not a lot of space up there for brain. So unlike our well, I guess I'll compare with Dave. With Dave, you can see that comparatively, there's a lot more space for a brain. So that is our emu skull.
All right, now we're on to the eggs. So this middle one is the emu egg. It is quite large and it's also very dark in color and spotted. Um, it ranges from 1 to 1.5 pounds and 5 inches tall, compared with the 2.5 inches of a normal, well, actually, a quite large chicken egg. So that's like the largest it gets, about. And then comparing with an ostrich egg just for fun, we have it at like 6 inches tall and 3 pounds. So it's um, around the middle of these two. I think a goose egg is about half the size. So that is our egg. on to conservation. Right now, they are not globally threatened, but they used to be. Apparently, there was a lot of poisoning of them as well as hunting. Um, there are three subspecies that were in different islands surrounding Australia, and these have since gone extinct, but they've been reintroduced to the areas that these were endemic to. For their demographic patterns, they're said to follow the rains. So, as you can see, in early spring, they are more to the very east and very west most of the continent. They move further inland and north in May. Again, they're further east and west in late July. And then in fall, they really go further inland and north. So they are said to pair up in December, January timeframe, so in the winter, but they breed in this time period. So that's February to July. And it is said that their females are very promiscuous, and the males actually build their nest that they use to rear their young. They also have a very low hatch rate, apparently. I think like 40% is what eBird said. So a lot of effort being put into a very low hatch rate, along with, dingoes and other predators going for their eggs. But at the moment, they are not threatened. But this was emus with me, and I hope that that was informative.